I was talking about the constitutionality of the law and how the law gives you the right on one hand and takes it on the other hand. Do you understand? So now, when a lot of people in the LGBT community feel that, you know, that particular law discriminated against them, and then I was about to read the law to you when I said that. I was about to read the law to you under section 45 of the law. Now, when you read section 45, it tells us that nothing in section 37. Section 37 talks about right to private and family life, or section 38, which talks about right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, or section 39. Section 39 talks about right to freedom of expression of the press, section 40 and section 41. Nothing in this, that is any of this section, shall invalidate any law that is reasonably justifiable in a democratic society. Under this, in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, or public health. Now, this act was created under public morality by saying that it is publicly immoral for you to have two people of the same sex being sexually attracted to each other and displaying it publicly or wherever. Do you understand that? That is what the law is saying. That's what section 45 is saying. And that is the constitutionality of the act. That's what makes the act constitutional. But people in this particular community are saying, no, this cannot be a ground to take away people's sexual preference, because according to them, that it violates their own sexual preference and all that. In fact, there is a particular case before the Court of Appeal. That case was judged in the High Court by in 2018. That's the case of Pamela Aide versus CAC. Now, Pamela Aide is a lesbian, I think, and then she wanted to start a lesbian organization, and then she went to the CAC. For those who don't know the CAC is the Corporate Affairs Commission. Now, the Corporate Affairs Commission is like the commission in Nigeria that registers companies. So if you want to register your company, you have to go to the CAC. And then when she got to the CAC, she told the CAC that she wanted to register a lesbian organization. And then the CAC rejected that. The CAC said that the ground for which they are rejecting it is because that particular organization is breaching a law. And that is the Same-Sex Marriage Prohibition Act. Then Pamela said, no, you are breaching another law, which is the right against discrimination as given by the Constitution under section 42. And so she went to court. And then when they got to court, they argued before, I think, Justice Nnamdi of the Federal High Court. And then Justice Nnamdi gave his judgment against that particular lesbian organization and said, no, it's not proper. And said, no, it's not proper and it's against the law. And then she appealed to the Court of Appeal. Do you understand that? And then when the case has not been heard by the Court of Appeal, but I would actually like to know your opinion on this particular matter. That's this case. Now, another thing that necessitated that particular action was the fact that homophobic people have been causing a lot of damage and a lot of havoc on this particular community, which is something that I feel that we should actually speak about. Nobody speaks about this thing, but it's needed. We need to speak about it. Why? Because the law has already made this particular community illegal, and that is all that we need for the community to be illegal. The law does not give anybody the right to lay their hands on this particular community. Now, I was researching on people who have been, who were affected by violence due to this community, and then I researched and I looked at this particular person, Bamanga Rabiu. Bamanga Rabiu is a transgender female. He was a male and then he changed to a female, and is a Muslim activist. And you know what happened to Bamanga Rabiu? They literally killed him in his house at Abuja, and then they buried him in his house in a very shallow grave. The body started decomposing. That was when people realized that somebody had died in that house. If not, nobody would have realized that somebody has died. And not just that, we have other stories of Ekobong and all that. This person who was rusticated from school because they felt that he had a psychiatric problem and all that, and he was almost beaten to death. When he went out, like he was almost beaten to death because they carried knives and all that. And then if you read other stories online, you will see where people actually, come out at this particular community and begin to beat them mercilessly. Now, this is where I have a problem. I don't have a problem like with we trying to enforce the law, because I believe that that's what the people are doing. They are trying to enforce the law by saying that these people, the community is illegal. Yes, and also for this particular community, I do not have a problem with the community, but I am just saying that you cannot practice that thing in Nigeria because the law already says that it is illegal. Until the law changes, you have no right to practice it because you are supposed to follow the law. Do you understand? If you know that it is illegal in a particular country, then go to other countries that is not illegal. Don't come here, fight and loot here when you know that it is clearly illegal. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can go to South Africa, you can go to other countries. Until it is legal in Nigeria, you don't have the right to do it here. But also to the homophobic people, you don't have the right to lay your hands on these people. If you feel that you are being threatened, if you feel that there is any problem at all, go to the police, write a criminal complaint and all that. Because when you lay your hands on these people, they cannot even go to the police themselves because that's another trouble. So you've beaten them and then you are getting away with it. Something that the law clearly states that you shouldn't. You should not be harassing people. You should not be assaulting people. You don't have the right to do it, regardless of your feeling. Maybe whether or not you want to, follow the law. If you are going to follow the law by writing a criminal complaint. Do you understand? These people are not animals. It is only your animal that you have at home that can say, this chicken, I feel like killing this chicken today, or I feel like beating this goat. This dog, not the year word. It is only your animals that you can do that. When it comes to these people, this particular community, you have no right to lay your hands upon. If you are beating them by saying that you are following the law, me too, I'm following the law by saying that you do not have the right to beat them, because the criminal code and the SSMPA does not give you that right. And also, the SSMPA does not give right to discrimination, which is another thing that I realized. Because even me, I've personally, within the last few days, when I put out this poster, a lot of people have come into my DM and said a lot of rubbish. Dear call, you want to speak about this thing, you want to do this, who are you to talk about the gay, leave them alone, they are animals and all that. And I'm like, you don't even have the right to say that in the first place. You do not have the right. If you are going to say something, the only thing you can say is that it is illegal. The people are not animal, their act is illegal. Do you understand? A gay person, someone who is sexually attracted to a male, can literally stay on his own. Being gay in Nigeria is not a crime. Do you realize that? Being gay in Nigeria is not a crime. It is the expression that is a crime. When you are carrying out the act, that is the crime. Not the fact that you are gay in yourself. So, I am not sexually attracted to guys, but let us say I'm sexually attracted to guys. So now that I said I'm sexually attracted to guys, can police come and arrest me? On what crime? What's the charge? Do you understand that? So I want us that before we take that step, before we decide to lash out at people, first of all, try to think, try to reason regarding the law first before you just take the step and act out. Do you understand that? Now that we've spoken about things regarding the constitutionality, I cannot decide on whether or not the act is constitutional. I feel that it is the Supreme Court that can make that decision. And up to this moment, the case is at best at the Court of Appeal. Do you understand that? So until it gets to the Supreme Court, I really cannot say anything regarding the law. So, but then, we are going to take another 2-minute break. And after our break, we are going to have our interview session where we will now discuss about certain other things. I will see you after the break.